It was a calm Sunday morning at our ranch-style home on the edge of town. My wife, Sarah, had just come off her night shift as a 911 dispatcher. She's calm, professional, and takes pride in her job. We had just moved to this neighborhood a few months ago, and though we weren't officially part of the HOA, we quickly learned there was one woman who believed she ran everything: Karen. Karen was the self-declared president of the HOA, even though no one had voted for her. She acted like she owned the entire block, constantly knocking on people's doors about grass height violations, barking at kids for playing too loud, and even once demanding my neighbor repaint his mailbox because it didn't match the theme. We ignored her. We weren't in the HOA, and legally she had no authority over our property. But Karen didn't care about legality. She cared about control. One morning I was working in my garage when Karen marched up our driveway, clipboard in hand. She told me we were in violation for building a fence without HOA approval. I calmly reminded her, again, that we were not in the HOA. She didn't like that answer. She huffed, shouted something about calling the authorities, and stormed off. About 30 minutes later, Sarah was resting on the couch when Karen came back, this time trying to push open our side gate. My wife saw her on the camera and told me to stay inside. She'd handle it. But before either of us could confront her, Karen pulled out her phone and dialed 911. What Karen didn't know was that the dispatcher who picked up her emergency call was my wife. Sarah calmly answered, "911, what's your emergency?" Karen immediately launched into a rant. "Yes, I need the police. I'm trying to enter my HOA property and these squatters are refusing to let me inspect the backyard." Sarah, holding back a smile, responded in her professional voice, "Ma'am, are you trying to enter someone else's private property?" Karen snapped, "No, it's my job. I'm HOA president and I have a right." Sarah replied, "Do you have legal ownership or documentation for that access?" Karen shouted, "I don't need documentation. I run this place." That's when Sarah calmly said, "Ma'am, entering someone's property without permission is trespassing. If you refuse to leave, officers will be dispatched and you may be arrested." Karen paused, confused. "Wait, what?" Sarah added, "Also, this call is being recorded. Please step away from the property immediately." But Karen, in full entitlement mode, didn't back down. She kept yelling about her authority, demanding police backup. So Sarah gave the green light. Dispatch sent out officers. 15 minutes later, 2 squad cars rolled up. Karen stood proudly at the gate, pointing toward our house like she expected the cops to storm in and drag us out. But when she saw the officers walking right past her and up to her, her smile disappeared. The officers asked for ID, and when they checked her story, it fell apart instantly.